Hallo liebe Eichenfreunde hier zu der Stanley Parable Folge 6. So,
How wonderful.
oh,
Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
er hat mal was anderes gesagt. Ah ja, endlich mal allein. Ja, das stimmt schon, ja. New Content? Nö, noch nicht.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
Oh.
he entered the door on his left.
Ich glaube, hier rechts habe ich ja nicht alles gefunden. Es müsste, glaube ich, noch beim Treppenhaus auch
Yet
nach
there was
unten
not a
gehen.
single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Nö, mache ich nicht. Ich gehe runter. Nett hier. Unter der Treppe.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming!
Ich träume.
This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief.
Bitte einiges erklären auf alle Fälle.
Finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Hilfe, ich fliege.
Then
Hilfe.
he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons.
Ja, ich will mein Tasten drücken.
It's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life
Frau ist doch schon geklärt, dass wir keine haben.
My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Huh? Ist nicht besser geworden.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I?
Ja, wer bin ich? Wer bin ich? Hallo,
And
wer bin ich?
everything went black.
Oh.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Oh, wer ist Mariella?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Okay, jetzt wird Stanley einfach als verrückt erklärt. Auch schade. Aber wundert mich auch nicht.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Eine Idee hätte ich noch.
When
Das wäre auch
Stanley
wieder nach
came to
oben.
a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh,
Here's the door, just go.
Ah, okay, danke. Ja, so einfach geht's auch. Dankeschön. So, dann mal nach unten. Okay, einfach schön vorbereitet für mich. So, und der sagt noch nichts. Ich glaube, hier hinten müsste ich alles entdeckt haben. Aber man könnte eigentlich doch auch noch nach oben fahren, oder? Ja.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
Ja, so bin ich auch gespannt. Ah ja.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator.
Yep.
It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow! I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
So, ja, Ich finde es ganz nett, ja. Also, aber ich würde mal sagen, fahren wir wieder runter.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, How does he keep coming up with all of this?
Jo, ich hab so ganz komische Ideen immer.
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he?
Ja, das ist mir zu gruselig. Das ist mir zu gruselig.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Oh ja. Ah, sehr spannend. Sehen wir wieder das Büro. Da bin ich gespannt. Und? Ja, da sind wir wieder.
Oh my god. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this.
Okay. Oh mein Gott. Ah, dieser Vogel. Hm? Ja. Wie soll.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
Okay. Geben wir ihnen noch mal ein bisschen Zeit. Ja. Hat er jetzt genug nachgedacht? Können wir weiter?
All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Meister Stanley. Hört sich toll an. Okay. Dann mal wieder runter.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
Joel. Er sagt nichts. Naja, dann wieder nach oben.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow? There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension?
Diese
Where's
Spannung.
the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate, and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years, and it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley. because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why... Oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but well, I've gathered a little press conference for you.
Eine
So that you can
Pressekonferenz.
talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh good, we're here.
Ah, okay. Wir sind da. Also das habe ich nicht erwartet.
Okay, the room we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
All eyes on Stanley. Live on stage. Und das haben wir hier. World's healthiest human being. All tricks revealed. Okay. Dann How we did it. The Pyramids. Also das würde mich auch mal interessieren, wie die Pyramiden gebaut sind. Und Live. The guy who went to Mars. Ist das jemand auf dem Mars? Das ist mir neu. Naja, dann gehen wir mal da hoch. Da haben wir auch noch was. An evening with world peace baby. Okay.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
Der Stanley Parables Stanley. Tonight live on stage. Ah, okay. Hört sich witzig an. Hier haben wir noch a Q&A with world's first boah, ich weiß nicht, wie man es ausspricht. Auf alle Fälle irgendwas mit Maschine.
Alright, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley.
Ich muss auf die Bühne.
Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get them.
Ah, das ist meine Nummer. Oh Gott, ich hab Lampenfieber. Kann man das nochmal besprechen? Erzähler. Ich will ja nicht auf die Bühne. Ich hab Lampenfieber. Naja, okay. Geht wohl nicht anders. Oha! So viel Publikum. Damit habe ich nicht gerechnet. Oh mein Gott. Lampenfieber-Kick. Nö, ich hab kein Lampenfieber. Was geht? Was geht? Ich habe ein Buch geschrieben. Ja, ich habe ein Buch geschrieben. Haha. Das Ende war cool. So, gibt's noch ein Ende?
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
Was? Jemand verfolgt mich? Junge, mach mir keine Angst. Erzähler. Hä? Oh mein Gott. Ist da jemand? Nein. Oh mein Gott. So, finde ich noch ein Ende.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Warte mal. Wir müssen nochmal... Ich habe vielleicht noch eine Idee.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
Okay. Warte mal. Ich hatte doch da was. Was ist das für ein Geräusch? Ah, hier. So. Genau. Dann suchen wir mal den zweiten.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
Ja, Wetter sehen. Ja. Wie ist das Wetter draußen? Es ist hell. Ich glaube, es scheint die Sonne. Dann müsste jetzt noch ein anderer Rechner wahrscheinlich irgendwo sein. Wo man draufdrücken kann. Ah, hier. Mal schauen.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Wo ist der nächste Computer? Also einen Computer müsste ich noch wissen. Einen Computer müsste ich auf alle Fälle noch wissen.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Also hier habe ich nichts gesehen.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Genau, hier habe ich auch einen Computer gesehen. Ah, tatsächlich. Ne, auf meinem Computer ist nichts. Noch nicht. Wahrscheinlich.
All of his co-workers were gone.
So.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ah, hier.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Wieso geht das nicht? Wieso geht das nicht? Ne? Müsste doch gehen, oder nicht? Das wundert mich, dass es nicht geht. Irgendein anderer Computer, mit dem es funktioniert. The end is never... Oh Gott. Nö, das mache ich aus. Ah, okay. Jetzt hat es funktioniert. Und jetzt? Welcher Rechner wird sein? Ah, tatsächlich. So, und was haben wir jetzt? Welcome Stanley to Heaven. Also, herzlich willkommen Stanley im Himmel. Oh mein Gott. Ach du meine Güte, was ist hier passiert? Ja, okay, man kann nicht alle drücken, die verschwinden irgendwann wieder. Hilfe! Also, so habe ich mir den Himmel nicht vorgestellt. Mit so vielen Knöpfen. Oh mein Gott. Hilfe! Erzähler, kannst du mir helfen? Oh, nö, er ist weg. Okay. Dann mal... Navigieren dann. So, bei der linken Tür müsste ich eigentlich alle Enden haben.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Gehen wir doch nochmal zur rechten. So, nicht der
Stanley came to a set
Story
of two
folgen.
open doors. This was not the correct way to the meeting
Eine Idee
room,
hätte ich
and
vielleicht
Stanley
noch.
knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
So,
Stanley was so bad
genau,
at following
Anweisungen
directions,
nicht
it's
folgen.
incredible he wasn't 5
Bis
years
hierhin.
ago.
So.
Oh well, look who's got cold feet.
Ja,
Sorry to break it to you,
ja,
Stanley,
sorry.
but that lift isn't
Wollte nicht
coming
hin.
back. You'd best either get comfortable right here on this platform, or test your luck by jumping to the floor below. You know what?
Wie?
Looking at it now, it's not that far to the bottom floor. I bet you can
Da
make it.
unten. Okay.
Whoops. Looks like I was wrong. How clumsy of me.
Hey, das war gemein. So, genau, ich bin gerade aktuell an einem Punkt, wo ich nicht mehr weiß, wo ich noch Enden finde. Ihr könnt mir gerne in die Kommentare schreiben, wenn ihr noch ein Ende wisst. In der nächsten Folge geht's dann auf alle Fälle in Ultra Deluxe rein. Ich wünsche euch was. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Ciao, ciao.